Hello, this is Graham Atkins, lead developer at Fracos Website Design. I'm making this little video to show you how one of our new utilities works. I think you'll find it quite useful. It's a responsive website design layout builder, which is very helpful when you're trying to knock something together quickly based on someone else's artwork, for example. The template grid system we're using is the one provided by Dave Gamanche called Skeleton, and you can get that at getskeleton.com. It's a great little grid system, quite easy to use, but it does still require quite a lot of coding, as you can see, and that's where a lot of people trip up. So you're going to need to download this grid system. Just grab that. You can get the PSD templates if you're wanting to do artwork for it. It just gives you a grid for use in Photoshop. But take that, download it, and once you've got it, open it up as per usual onto your desktop or wherever. And then I've done that here. So I've got images, style sheets, index, and so on. So if we look at the index, that's the basic page. If we view the page source, we can see that's how it's been put together. But it is quite complex when you're doing something a bit more complex than this simple example shows. So if we now go to our website, which is fracos.com, and we go into the utilities section, we now have the responsive website template builder. It's an early version, but you can see here we go. Very simple to use. So your top section, comparing it to the artwork, probably will be a header. You're probably going to have a logo and also possibly a banner in your header. You can see here you're able to name things as you go to remind yourself what they're for. It's putting these classes in for you. So it's going to tell you that it's logo and put the text in as well. It's telling you the width of the cell, and that just helps you for artwork's sake if you're coming up with the grid first and then doing the artwork afterwards, or putting in extra artwork at a later date. Excuse me. And you can add cells in as many as you require, size them up however you need them, and this will just update the code dynamically down here. If you don't give it a name, it'll just put in the size, so you've got something there to begin with. To delete unwanted cells, just double click on them and they disappear. So we're set up our header. Let's add a couple more. So we might have navigation as our second one, and we'll put something in here. Navigation, or we'll call it nav bar so it's not confusing. And we'll add another cell. Call this search, and we'll just size that to fit like so. We'll add another section for, say, our main section. A couple of bars here, sidebar, content, and then we might want to do another section called bottom, and another called footer. I'll come back to the bottom section in a second. We'll need 2 cells in the footer, probably quite a big one for our footer nav, and one for copyright. That's fairly standard. Here we're going to do 4 versions of our grid cells, and we're going to call that one about, call this one featured, call this one tweets, and we might have a Flickr account feed for graphics. So that's us set up our basic grid based on the artwork. We know where all our content's going. I think we'll just tweak that slightly so it sits more nicely. You might want to swap these around, so you can do that just by clicking and lifting, and that's it. So you've now built your template. If we come down here, we can grab the code, and if we go to our desktop and edit this, all we need to do is copy all, paste. That's us got our grid built. I'll just point out one thing that I've added in here is this little style override. We've got two styles here. The first one allows you to add a border on objects on the inside of objects as opposed to increasing the size by putting a line on the outside. That's very useful. I tend to use that in a lot of sites because it means, especially in grid systems, you're not increasing the size of things when you're adding borders onto them, so it just puts the border on the inside. The other style here is just to let you see where your boxes are, so it adds a black border and a sort of pale yellow background onto each of the boxes. So if we save that and go back in here, you now see your grid system ready for you to put all your content in. Quite easy to use, so now you can just go in and drop your content in as you require, and you know it's going to all fit in the grid system. Once that's done, you can obviously resize the page and you'll see it automatically works for all devices. We hope you find it useful. We'd love to hear your comments on it. If you've got any features that you'd like to see that we haven't built into it, let us know. And if you build any websites with it, we'd love to hear about that too. That's great. Thank you.